All right, diving into Battle Royale games today. We're going to take a look at several projects out there that are on Play to Earn in a big way. I think this is one of those areas that is it's a very popular sector within blockchain gaming. I think this is something that we need to continue to explore. We're going to have a lot of different angles on this, a lot of different projects for you guys to take a look at. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to Metaverse Insider. Let's get into it. Battle Royale play to earn games. And of course, joining me today is Mirko over from Unix Gaming. Great to have you back on the show. Let's jump into this today, Mirko.
Yeah. Yeah, hey Paul, I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's get into the first one, which is Blast Royale. And this is one that you know a little bit more about. And one, I see it as a very new and upstart project. What are your thoughts on how this little Blast Royale could develop into something special?
Yeah, I think the first thing on Blast Royale, what I want to highlight, it's really free to play. And to give basically no barrier of entry to the people. Yeah, and then while you're playing, or you can basically earn the token and you can gain NFTs basically. And you see that it's already basically designed for mobile games. And
Right.
having kind of a fun entertainment game on mobile where you can match with your friends. And I'm based in Asia, and I see so many groups of people, they gather with their phones sitting beside each other and playing mobile games. And I think Blast Royale having a no entry barrier like cryptocurrency or an NFT,
Right.
what you need to enter, plus then maybe an addictive gameplay. I couldn't play it yet, but I definitely want to try it. And I think that's very good start opportunities or start conditions for a game. And Battle Royale's been ever since super popular, so I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited what they gonna build here.
Yeah, Blast Royale, free to play on this one. Governance token BLT, the in-game token SC. It's on the Polygon network, and it is available on iOS, Android, PC, Mac. So that's kind of cool because I think as we see more and more development, and you mentioned something earlier about the Mac side of thing, it's got to be free to play, obviously, because of the functionality within the Mac ecosystem for just for games and that whole infrastructure there. I was looking at their position on social media because this is something that I continue to see more and more is that some of these games, which this game looks fantastic in terms of design, everything that's rolling around it, but they haven't really started to generate audience yet or potential community, whether it's through Discord or crypto Twitter, which has become a very big area for growth of these brands. What do you think a lot of these guys are going to have to do to really kind of ramp up their marketing?
I think some projects, so what I'm talking to also to other projects, they're really focusing on Android and Mac. They're basically, I think they're starting right away to advertise on these platforms like Play Store
I see.
and Apple Store,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
gaining their user base from there. So yeah, but I think definitely upfront you should build a user base, people who carry your project, maybe early contributors, like better players, skills who
Yep.
maybe plug in. So yeah, we are happy in Unix to basically support the game. I think it's super fun. Yeah, but I think that's the strategy. So with this, going more on the ads and getting the user base from there.
Yeah. Thetan Arena, another game that we've looked at on our show before. And Thetan has been in our CPI, our Crypto Paradox ratings for metaverse and blockchain gaming for quite some time, and they've had some pretty good performance. I'm always amazed at the number of players that they boast on their website. 23.1 million players out there, and at some point, it seems like this game has started to lose a little bit of its lure toward gamers. I guess, is there a life expectancy for these games? Do you feel like there's going to be some rotation, or do you think that some of these games can really build legacies that they're just continuing to, improve on, whether it's seasons or revisions or variations of the game? Your thoughts on that, Mirko?
I think Thetan and Thetan is a good example for people who basically the game exists already, and they enter the metaverse and build a blockchain model around the game. I think what
Right.
they have built is awesome. But I think we're looking too much at thinking of having a reward token on as a kind of a payment tool. So why not, for example, and this is what I would like to see maybe as an upgrade, let's say upgrading your NFT. So the one NFT you hold while you're playing is becoming more value because it's have more level, or you get basically a certain grade and then you upgrade your NFTs. And then while you're playing your skin, your character, what is the main part of the business in Thetan Arena? Yeah, because you need to buy basically to participate in the game. But of course, there's free characters.
Right.
And upgrading your NFT to a certain level. So I think that would be interesting. But I believe that the large user base is still there, even without having maybe higher rewards, because it's really fun. I was playing a lot with the team and Unix and with our community, and it's really fun. So, and that's what keeps people on the platform, right? And not only the rewards.
Yeah, I think that's one of the factors is if you can create something that's got a little bit of, well, it has to have some a fun element to it. But I guess the point I'm making is that we've seen Thetan as an investment class kind of go up and down. It's so erratic. We've seen fall-offs on its sentiment in big ways. I don't know if that's coming from the investment community or if we're seeing some kind of pushback from the gamer community on this one for sure. Let's jump over to Axis Metaverse, which is by Azure Games. Now, this one is kind of interesting in the sense that this project has now claiming a top 5 mobile game publisher. They've got 2 billion installs overall. Azure is a very credible mobile game house. Thoughts on how a project like Axis could really kind of move to the next level? Do you think regular gaming houses and traditional game developers are just testing the waters right now on this, or do you think this is hey, this is the new direction? They're gonna start really hammering down.
No, I think especially this kind of voxy style, like what they also have in Axis. I think it's a pretty good start into the metaverse because it's really easy to develop. I mean, it's not. It is, of course, development always needs time, but it's like it's very let's say easy to also compare with sandboxes, so you can even could plug in basically these characters in other games. So expansions can be really there's a lot of partnerships to work with. And I believe what they're building is definitely also Battle Royale. They're having a kind of a sandbox tool, to plug in more game modes. So I think with the current characters and based on NFTs, I think I love Axis Metaverse, and they've been also part on the sandbox season 2. They had an area there, so it was pretty good. Yeah.
I was looking at their Twitter feed. This is from BSC News, where Axis Metaverse sales basically sold out within minutes on their NFT offering. So again, I think this goes back to there's probably I think we'll see a lot more of these kinds of games really developing and jumping out there with the NFT side of things in terms of its generation or at least profit generation to be able to grow the games themselves. Let's jump over to Katana Inu. This is one that they approached us to take a look at this game. It was months ago, but I just don't, I'm not a big fan of this project. I'm trying to figure out, do these kinds of games deserve to be even reviewed? I mean, there's obviously talent here, and they're going into trying to develop a platform here, but I just feel like the marketing, if you named this any other thing and didn't put a dog on its head, you might have something here. What are your thoughts on this?
I personally don't trust any Inus in crypto. But I mean, the gameplay looks awesome, but I see that many times. Sorry to say that I have really going through many games, and they're having an awesome gameplay trailer, and then they market only around that one gameplay trailer.
Yeah,
it looks very hectic for me. I cannot concentrate. I'm not saying I don't want to talk this bad now. I think there seems there's a lot of maybe Inu love on it, Yeah, let's be
Yeah,
excited. I think we cannot find out always upfront which games are super and really have a lot of really an awesome user experience. And maybe we are wrong, or I'm personally wrong, but hope to get convinced. So
yeah, for sure. Well, we'll see how they roll out. I think the key there, if you can break out of the Inu, you know, kind of systemic approach, it's possible that some of these games could roll out. Farcana is not one of these. This is one that I've looked at, and I was very fascinated by just what they're doing from a roadmap side of things, kind of the approach toward the game itself, but also the team behind it is pretty significant as well. Have you taken a look at this one?
yeah, I looked at Farcana because I really see kind of Apex Legend, and that was a very, very successful, or
Mm-hmm.
is still a very successful game on Twitch. And this reminds me a little bit on it, what is, of course, a little bit more different surrounding. And it's something with very unique, I would say, that they really looking to work with with BTC, with Bitcoin, because usually like the games, they're having either their own token. And so this is something
Right.
what I really enjoy. Graphics are awesome. And also our team in Dubai from Unix Gaming, they've been on the Binance um, uh, summit, the Metaverse summit, and they had
Yep.
kind of a booth there, and they played the game, and that was they said like it's awesome. I wasn't there, I'm here, but they really enjoyed the gameplay. Yeah,
Yeah, I was just looking at, here's the Farcana booth right there at the event you're talking
yeah. See,
about, which
actually, yeah,
was
exactly. That was our team. Yeah.
the WoW Summit. Which I think, yeah, anytime you see that, and of course the team behind it, this one I think has some potential. Now the whole tournament style approach toward this game, kind of the winner take all concept, I think this will be interesting of how this flexes out, and also how this might end up being one, whether you're a player and you're going into play to earn, or maybe you're someone that's looking at digital assets or other approaches. But this one is a little different, from the tournament style of things. Let's jump over to Gala Games and Grit. This one we had Jason on not too long ago talking about Bitbender from Gala Games. They were talking about it. He really likes this game. Obviously, I'm sure he likes all of his Gala games, but this one he kind of leaned in on a little bit of what its potential was, but mostly around the design team that is building Grit. What are your thoughts on this project?
So personally, I love Western. I love, for example, Dead Red Redemption and Desperados. That's been game in the
Mm-hmm.
past I played when I was more a gamer. And yeah, I think if Gala Games is involved, that means a lot for me, because usually we can expect quality. And also Gala Games is became someone in the space, and it's also about the reputation. So
Yeah.
and yeah, I really love the Western aspect and the open world, and it's really, really interesting what Gala Games, where they are all involved. And what they see as a little tip for the users, Gala Games Discord, if you're familiar with it, go in the Discord, and there's always a channel called Mystery Games, and they will let you basically unannounced, they dropping a demo, and
Mm-hmm.
for Grid, for Superior, there was another game, and then you have like 3 days playing the demo, and then it's over. So it's
Mm.
really interesting. You can really get an early sneak peek into the game, playing it, and already get really, and this is, I like that, because it's like super hype for the community. Yeah, so you get
Right.
them involved,
Right.
then you cut it off, and then you can basically only see on YouTube, or and people will talk about it, and it's such a good
Well,
move, and I really
yeah,
enjoy
it creates
it.
pent-up demand, it creates anticipation. It's all the marketing ploys. Somebody's using psychology in their marketing efforts when you do things like that, for sure. Let's jump over to, and I like Grit. I think this is one that will be very successful for Gala. Will it be a Mirandus or something of that nature? I don't know if it's going to kind of get to that level, but well, I don't know. We'll see. A lot happening with Gala Games. It's still one of our favorite projects that we watch here all the time. Let's go over to Battle Hero, because this was actually the top mover on our CPI, the Crypto Power Index, where we ranked, not necessarily ranked, but compared these games, these Battle Royale games, to each other. And Battle Hero kind of came out on top. Obviously, Android, Mac OS, Windows. This is another good approach toward a really different kind of style. What are your thoughts on Battle Hero?
Yeah, I mean, Battle Hero is also a battle royale, and I think Blast Royale and Battle Hero, they have pretty much in common, and it's definitely looks for me like competition. They both each other, but yeah, I think it's a matter of how the gameplay is at the end. You know, which one is more fun, and everybody finds its user base. You know, it's like it's really, it's like maybe you like the chicken here, you know, then that's your game. Maybe you like more machine guns and bazookas, maybe then the other game is yours. So no, but I think this is like these mini games for mobile. It's definitely always will be get a large user base because of the aspect that you have such a high player count on the mobile devices.
Yeah, right. I like it. I'm gonna jump to our, before we wrap up here, I want to jump to our Crypto Power Index chart here that kind of shows the layout of these, because just to give you guys an idea of what's happening, at least right now, and in comparison to some of the other games, these are not necessarily ranked in any order. It was just the group of Battle Royale games that we wanted to see based on community sentiment and amplification. Blast Royale, still a very young community. I think it shows in their overall sentiment. Thetan, very large community, but not doing well in terms of comparison. I mean, in comparison of these other projects, which are much smaller. Thetan, of course, has had a little bit of fall off, but their amplification a little bit lower at 6649. Axis, I was surprised that they made such a showing here, because that's a very early game for them. And then Katana Inu, I think, again, that's just really, jumping on the Inu bandwagon. Farcana seems to be moving along and coming up with a fairly decent sentiment score. Sentiment scores in the 60s. When we look at these are respectable. Now, when you get into the 70s, you've got something. There's usually typical aspects of price action if it's a token-driven project, or player action if it's something that's geared toward NFTs and in-game assets. Grit comes at 6107, again, very young game. And then Battle Hero kind of led out the group here at 6834, but their amplification was 7022, which means in most cases, if we look at these from an investment side of things, it usually tells us that there's something getting ready to happen within this. So either the community themselves are talking it up, or we're starting to see some movement, in where maybe that style of gameplay is going to be going. So interesting layout for sentiment amplification. We'll probably do these for you guys on a more common or constant basis of giving you kind of these groups of projects, whether it's blockchain game categories, or give you kind of this rundown on the CPI data, because there's so many projects to look at. And when we drill down on them, sometimes it gives us a little bit better understanding of whether or not the project is worthy of either investing in, playing, or getting into their NFTs and all that kind of architecture there. But Dölger, it's been great having you on the show as always. Great to have you in here as our game expert to give us some insights from the inside. I can't wait till next week when we touch base again. We have some ideas on what we're going to do next week too, so for some cool stuff. So thanks again for stopping in.
It's always a pleasure, Paul. And yeah, let's see what we talk about next time. And hope there is another gems from the Metaverse.
More. Oh, there will be. This next week is going to be huge in the Metaverse. There's just so much happening out there. All right. So again, thanks for Dölger coming in on today. If you guys are tuned in over on the podcast, you can catch Metaverse Insider in the podcast side of things. That's our audio show. And it's the same thing here. We do a couple of other things within the podcast that we're going to start rolling out. But for the most part, it's pretty much what you're getting here on the YouTube show. But the best thing is when you're here on YouTube, you get a chance to see all the great graphics. You get also a chance to get in and understand what's happening on many of these charts, like when we break down the sentiment and amplification of what we did here on the Royale games. So this is the only place you can do that. So jump over here to YouTube, subscribe, like some videos, and let us know in the comments of what you'd like to see on projects, things of that nature. We always love your feedback. If you want to reach me, it's out on Twitter @PaulBaron. Catch you next time right here on Metaverse Insider.